Hi, I'm Carlene Firmin and I'm head of the Contextual Safeguarding Programme at the University of Bedfordshire, where I'm a Principal Research Fellow. And I've been asked to talk about why language is so important for social work from the perspective of contextual safeguarding. One of the first things that we do when we support children's services departments to think about taking a contextual safeguarding approach is we observe meetings between professionals and we review case files where professionals have written information about children and families who are affected by abuse and different forms of harm in extrafamilial contexts. And the language in those meetings and in those files tell us a lot about where risk is being situated and where safety is or is not being considered. And often when we started to develop contextual safeguarding, we would see issues like sexual exploitation being described as an issue about the child. And so the language used to describe the issue at hand would be very much focused on the child. They are manipulative, they are absconders, they are hard to reach. And the one we still hear most often in meetings is they won't engage with our service. And this type of language can have a real impact on the ability of social workers to build relationships with young people and ultimately work with others and young people themselves to keep them safe. Because if we locate the issue as being with the child, then our intervention focuses on fixing that child, fixing that issue. And in meetings, we hear people then very much focused on fixing that child. So they're absconding. Well, what do we do about their behaviour? How do we stop them from absconding? Can we instill more curfews? Do we need to restrict their liberty? What things can we do to tell them the consequences of their behaviour to stop them from behaving in that way? Or they won't engage with our service. We offered, so we'll close now. The responsibility rests with the young person to increase safety and doesn't facilitate collaboration or partnership between young people, their families and carers, and the professional network. From a contextual safeguarding perspective, therefore, we really encourage discussions about the context and situation in which that young person finds themselves. And in terms of engagement, then really describing the fact that we have not been able to engage this young person in our service. Because if we start saying we haven't been able to engage, rather than they won't engage, we open up a problem-solving, contextualized conversation about our next steps. We haven't been able to engage them. Why is that? Is it the offer that we're making? Is it the worker? Is it the situation that the young person is in, which means it's just unsafe for them to participate in what is being offered to them? Once we open up and explore that conversation, not just amongst ourselves, but with young people and those that they trust, we open up opportunities to create safety for them. And so when we develop contextual safeguarding approaches, what we're doing is encouraging professionals to describe the contexts and situations a young person is in and support them to describe those contexts and not simply describe the behaviour that they see, and therefore not simply engage with the young person in regards to the decisions that that young person alone is making. The more we can talk about contexts and situations, the more we move from an individualised model of child protection, social work and safeguarding practice, we move away from that and towards a contextual safeguarding approach. Thank you.